house and knock. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. That way you can get the updates and the videos that's coming out. So we're still working on this G12. Right now we pulled the DMEs out. I'm going to show you a video on how to do that. It's a very simple process on the G series. Probably take you about 20 minutes to do it. If you've never done it before, maybe 30, but it's really not that hard. So we're going to jump right into it and show you how to do it. And then we have more updates coming soon. So this is the BMW G12 that we've been working on. We're going to get ready to pull the DMEs out of this car. We got to do some tuning to this car, and sometimes the tuning software doesn't work trying to go through the OBD2 port. So sometimes you will have to pull the DMEs. So first things first, whenever you're doing anything electronic on these cars, you do need to disconnect the batteries. These do have a little bit different setup than some of the older models. I'm not sure if you have to do this on the F models or not, but I know on the G models you do need to do this. So we do have a computer where we can erase error codes and stored codes and stuff like that, but there's a way to avoid that. And the way to avoid that is to disconnect the battery. But on the G12 series, what you need to do first is you need to open the trunk. So you can see we have the trunk open, we have the car unlocked, we have the hood open. You need to have those things done. And then what you need to do is you need to take both keys and take them out of range of the car. Once you get the keys out of range, it's probably going to take about five minutes or so. And then the car will actually go to sleep. You'll actually hear it click and it will go to sleep. So once that happens, what you need to do is you need to disconnect both batteries. So let me see if I can show y'all this battery back here. So in this car, you just open up the cover of the floor, and there's your battery right there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to grab a 10 mil and we're going to take the negative post off. For safety reasons, you always take the negative post off. That way you don't risk arcing your tool on something and burning out your computer or anything else like that. So always take the negative off first, and then you never have to take the positive off at all unless you're removing the battery. So now these aren't super tight. You don't need to super tighten them down and risk breaking them or anything. So it's a 10 mil. I got it on extension. Just give it a couple turns. Lift it off. And just put it out the way and put it in a way where it won't come back and arc the battery. All right, so next thing you need to do is come back to the front of the car. This car actually has 4 batteries, but 2 of them you don't have to take out. There's one in the roof and the upper panel behind those cameras. That's for the emergency system, and there's one under the dash for the automatic start stop, I think. So those you don't have to disconnect. And then there's another battery right here. So with this battery here, all you have to do is turn this lock. Then I don't pull it from the lock because this will come out. I just pull it from the edge, lift it straight up, pull it out. Set that to the side. Now you have access to the battery. Same thing on this battery. You want to go over and take the negative cable off. On this one, the negative cable's over here on the side. So we'll give that a couple twists. And then we can remove this. And then make sure you put it in an area where it won't come back and contact the battery. So that's out of the way. The car is asleep, so we don't have to worry about codes, setting any codes. So let's get to the other part. On this car, the DMEs are very easy to get to. They're right in the front. You have a cover here. Just need to lift up on it. Let me give you a better look. There's a cover here. Just lift up on it, pop it out. I've already kind of popped this one out just to make it easier to shoot the video. Take that out. This is your this is one of your DMEs right here, and then the other one is on the opposite side right here. pop this cover off. And there's your second DME. Now, you will need a couple pick tools and a long flathead screwdriver to get these out. They also have coolant lines running to them, so you're going to have to pull them up enough so you can get the coolant lines off. But you also have to get these covers off right here. And the way you do that, let's see if I can show you. You can see right there, there's a little plastic tab. You need to reach in, push that tab in, and then lift it straight up. Once you get up, you need to pull it forward. And there's some tabs in the back here that it's clipped into. So once you get it up, pull it forward, it comes straight out. Those are the two tabs that are on the back. Let me get some light here. Sorry about that. So there's a little tab that's on the front that you push in, and there's the two tabs on the back that just pull straight out. So it is under this bar a little bit, but once you get it up at a good angle, it'll just slide right out, and you can just push it to the side. Same thing on the other side. This side here is a little bit more difficult. This side, there is one tab right here. See if you get a better angle. And then the other tab is down on this side in the bottom, and this is what you need the long screwdriver for, to be able to get in there and press that tab in. Once you press those in, it comes out the same way. It lifts up and then it pulls straight out. There's a tab that's on the back. There's a tab on that side. Here's the tab on the other side. So yeah, that one you need a screwdriver to get to, and then you can pull them straight out, and you can just set them to the side. Now, to get the DMEs out, they have these tabs here. All you need to do is press it a little bit. Don't press it hard. You really don't even need a screwdriver. I don't know if you guys have an older car. These may be brittle. This car is pretty new. So all you do is push it in, and then rotate this slide forward, and that will pop the plug out. And then you can disconnect that plug. Make sure you put these plugs out of the way and you don't get any coolant spilt down in here. Especially when you go to plug it back in, that wouldn't be good, because you would definitely short out your computer. So I'm gonna finish taking these out. This side is the same way. You just press in right here and then pull this forward, and they pop straight up, and you can just pull them out. They only go in one way. You can't mix them up. If you want, what I like to do, just to make it easy, I always take a picture of it. They're all color coded. So you have a beige tape, you have a yellow, green, a blue, and then a gray. And the other side you have the same, but they're in different orders on the other side. So it's easy just to snap a quick picture, reference picture, and then you can just snap them in right away without even testing them in each one. So I'm gonna take these out and I'll be right back. So let me see if I can set this camera where you can see. And once you get to this point, the DME is held in by a couple of these little clips right here, and all you need to do is push them backwards and lift the DME straight up. That's what locks it in place. Once you get it high enough, you can disconnect the coolant lines. Now it does look like that this red line here is going to be in the way, these wires here. So I'm going to just stick a small screwdriver in this clip and unloosen this clip and move those out of the way. Some hose pliers. go. That is your DME for 4 cylinders on this side. The hardest part of getting it out is getting those coolant lines off. Now this side, this DME, you can actually pull it up without disconnecting the coolant lines and get it out. You can see there, it's just a stainless steel ring that goes around here just to help pull heat off of it, right around the heat sink. So these coolant lines you can pull, and they're pretty accessible right there. If you want them to go back in the right, same place it came off. The one towards the rear has an A on it, or it looks like an A. It's kind of just an arrow, and then this one just has a straight line on it. So if you just remember that. But that's it. See if I can show you. You can see right there, each one of those pins is different sizes. Some are really tiny. So there's no way to get them mixed up. Plus there's only maybe the one, they only reach so far, so you can tell by the length of them where they go to. So it's not really that hard to do. Like I said, this is probably a 15 to 20 minute job. The hardest part is just releasing those coolant lines. But once you get them off and get them pulled off, especially the one on this side, then it's very easy to come out. And that's it. Nothing else to take off. I'm gonna go ahead and package these up, get them sent out to heatsink, and get this car tuned. That way I can dyno it. I know we did talk about on the last video dynoing this car. Before we did this, the reason I didn't, it wasn't running optimum. It was running good, but not optimum, and I didn't want to do any hard dyno runs with the engine not running optimum, just to make sure that I didn't harm anything inside the engine. I wanted to make sure that it wasn't running really rich or really lean, or if I had any knock sensors going off. I just wanted to make sure that everything is A1 before I dyno it. So we did do a driving dyno, did a couple runs on the street. I did a couple runs with the draggy just to see the difference between before I did it and after I did it. But the final dyno numbers, I'm gonna do it after I get the computer and get it tuned. That way I make sure I don't blow my engine if something's off. I did have a little oscillations with the boost because of, or right after I put the downpipes on without a tune. So I would recommend, if you do put downpipes on, get it tuned. Yes sir, King back again. How's the knock? Just got our DMEs back from Heatsink Performance. About to go ahead and throw these back in. So there is a little differences on these two, just so you see. The one with the straight coolant inlets on there, inlet and outlet, is the slave. Or I'm sorry, is the master. And then, as you can see here, the one with the angled, that's the slave. So the slave computer goes on the passenger side, the master computer goes on the driver's side. So we'll go ahead and throw these back in. For the driver's side, it's best to hook up the coolant lines first, then drop it down in and plug it in. It'll just move these out of the way. It'll drop down in a slot, lock in place, and then you can plug the plugs back in. On the passenger side, you need to get it down in there, almost all the way down before you put the coolant lines on, because there's no room to pull them up like this one, where you can pull them all the way up to the top. So let's get this in. So there it is, slid in place. Make sure that these locking tabs right here are locked in. You'll know because you won't be able to pull it back out. Coolant lines are fitted on, got the clamps on them. And now the next step is to match up the connectors. Make sure you pull these forward, press them in, and then lock them in place. And then we'll do that for all the rest of these, and then we can put the cover back on this side, and this side's finished. Make sure these levers are all the way forward and that you push this down hard enough to make the lever start coming back automatically before you pull it back and clip it. If not, you can clip them in place and they won't lock. So after you do it, just give them a little tug on the top, pull up on them, make sure they're locked in place. And if they are, they won't be able to slide out. You won't have any problems. So that DME's in. That took approximately 1 minute, a minute and a half. So we'll go on over to the passenger side and put the slave DME in. So DME 2 is back in. There you go. All the connectors are back connected. Just pull up on them, give them a tug, make sure they're locked in. You don't want anything loose or anything not connected before you hook these, when you hook these batteries up. So both of them are in. Now I'm going to stick the covers on, which are these pieces here. These are the covers that go in before the upper covers go in. So I'm going to go ahead and stick these pieces in, and then we'll be back. So the way these go on is this one with the one hole on the top. This is goes over the slave DME like this. There's a tab on the back. If you can see right there, let me see if I can get a better picture. That's where the tab goes in. So that tab will slide in like that. And then the front side of this will just slide over. There's a lock right here. Just need to make sure that we go inside that lock. And then there's another one down here. It's hard to see it, but we'll make sure we go on these two locks before we push it down. And then the same on this one. There's two tabs on the back. This one you can see a little bit easier. They're gonna slide in to these tabs right back here. So you see those tabs, there's one right there, one right there. So there you go, just slide into the tabs. And then the front one on this side has a little lock right there. So you just snap it in place, and that one's locked on. And that's what the cover snaps on too. So this cover here, check out the bottom, you got two knobs there, one in the front, the two goes towards the back, the one goes in the front, and it just pops down in place, and that side's done. And we'll go to the other side and get that one locked in. So there you go, this side's locked in. This one has one here, one down here, and then one on the back here. So oops, look on the back of this, you have the three, the two go in the front, one goes in the back. Just make sure you don't pinch any lines when you put this on. So you'll just line the one up in the back, which is very deep, and then you'll make sure the front ones are lined up. It snaps in place, and there you go. This one's done, that one's done. We'll connect the batteries, put the battery cover back on, then we'll connect the back battery, and then we're going to turn the key on, and we're just going to leave the key on for like 5 minutes with the ignition on, give it time to set with the new program DMEs. Appreciate it, Heatsink, for sending out these DMEs, getting them tuned up for us. We're going to see what it do. So our next step is to go out and play with this Hellcat. So